Subtracting whole numbers. This video will help you understand basic subtraction facts, borrow to regroup a number, subtract large numbers, and subtract several numbers. So basic subtraction facts. Let's start with a definition. Addition and subtraction are called inverse operations because they undo each other. To add, we count forward. To subtract, we count backwards. Memorize the basic subtraction facts. If you cannot subtract the numbers 0 through 18 without counting backwards, you should practice with flashcards until you have these facts memorized. It's going to be important to have these facts memorized in order to keep up with your instructor. Your instructor will quickly work through these basic facts, and in order for you to understand what's going on in the class and keep up, it'll be important for you to have these facts memorized. Let's take a look now at some examples where we're practicing basic subtraction facts. In example 1, we're going to complete each basic subtraction fact without counting to get the answer. Now I'm going to go through these facts, and as quickly as I'm going through these facts, this is how quickly you should be able to come up with these basic subtraction facts. 14 minus 5 is 9. 8 minus 6 is 2. 12 minus 5 is 7. 11 minus 9 is 2. And 13 minus 8 is 5. Now it's time to check your understanding of basic subtraction facts. Press pause on your video player and complete guided practice 1. When you're done, hit play to see how you did. Question 1. Complete each basic subtraction fact without counting to get the answer. All right. 11 minus 5 is 6. 18 minus 9 is 9. 12 minus 3 is 9. 11 minus 7 is 4, and 17 minus 8 is 9. Borrow to regroup a number. In example 2, we're going to do subtraction that does not require borrowing. So here I have 34 minus 21. I'm going to start over in the ones column, the smallest place value, and I'm going to subtract 1 from 4. Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. Then I'm going to go to the tens place. 3 minus 2 is 1. So I get an answer of 13. In example 3, I'm going to need to borrow to perform this subtraction. If I take a look at the ones column, I cannot subtract 8 from 4. I'm trying to take away more than I'm starting with. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to come over to the tens place, the 3, and borrow from the 3. I'm going to borrow 1 from the 3, which makes that a 2. Now, that 1 that I borrowed is actually a 10. So when I add it to the 4, I'm adding 10 to 4, which is going to make it 14. Now that I've borrowed, I can subtract. 14 minus 8 will give me an answer of 6. And now when I come over to the tens column, 2 minus 1 will give me an answer of 16. Now it's time to check your understanding of subtraction, where borrowing is not required and also where borrowing is required. Press pause on your video player and complete these 2 guided practice questions. When you finish, hit play to see how you did. Question 2. We're going to subtract 13 from 54. Now I'm going to start over in the ones column. 4 minus 3 is 1. 5, now in the tens column, 5 minus 1 is 4. So I get an answer of 41. Question 3. Subtract 25 from 62. So I'm going to write 62 above, and I'm going to be subtracting 25 from that. Now if I look at the ones column, I cannot take 5 from 2. So I'm going to borrow from the 6, which will make that a 5. When I add that 1 to the next column, remember that's 10, so that's going to make that 2 a 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. And now in the tens column, 5 minus 2 is 3, and I get an answer of 37. Subtract large numbers. In example 4, I'm going to subtract 289 from 378. So I'm going to set this up vertically. Starting over in the ones column, I see that I cannot subtract 9 from 8. So I'm going to borrow from the 7, which makes that a 6. And that's going to make this 8 and 18. Now I'm ready to subtract in the ones column. 18 minus 9 is 9. Now I go to the tens column and I see that I cannot take 8 from 6. So I'm going to need to borrow from the hundreds column, the hundreds place value there, which is going to make that 3 a 2, and it's going to add 10 to the 6, which will make that 6 now, a 16. Now I can subtract the digits in the tens column. 16 minus 8 is 8. Now finally I'm going to go to the hundreds column. 2 minus 2 is 0, so I end up with an answer of 89. Now it's time to check your understanding for subtracting large numbers. Pause your video player and answer the guided practice question. When you're done, hit play to see how you did. Question 4. Subtract 295 from 800. I go to the ones column. I cannot take 5 from 0. So I look to the tens column to borrow, but I can't borrow from that other 0. So I got to go all the way over to the hundreds column, the 8, and borrow from the 8, which is going to make it a 7. Now that's going to add 10 to the next place value in the tens place. So that 10, that 0 is going to become a 10. But now I need to borrow from that 10 for the ones place. So I'm borrowing from the 10, which makes it a 9, and then adds 10 to the ones place, which will make that a 10. Now I'm ready to subtract. In the ones column, 10 minus 5 is 5. In the tens column, 9 minus 9 is 0. And then finally in the hundreds column, 7 minus 2 is 5. Subtract several numbers. In example 5, I'm asked to do subtraction where several numbers are involved. To do this, we perform one operation at a time, working left to right. So step 1 is to do the first subtraction that appears, which is 18 minus 5. Well, when I take 5 from 18, that's going to give me 13. I'm still going to bring over that minus 4 because I haven't done that subtraction yet. Now the second step is to do that last subtraction. 13 minus 4 will give me an answer of 9. Now it's time to check your understanding of subtracting several numbers. Hit pause on your video player and answer the guided practice question. When you're done, hit play to see how you did. Question 5. Subtract these three numbers, 23 minus 6 minus 3. We're going to perform the first subtraction we come to, which is 23 minus 6. Well, 23 minus 6 is going to give me an answer of 17. I still haven't subtracted that 3, so I'm bringing that over. And now I'm going to do 17 minus 3, gives me an answer of 14.